Hi there, Loy Machedo. Speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo? Think personal branding. Okay, the date is 2nd May 2023. Time right now is 2:58 in the afternoon. Okay. Remember I had asked you, I had put this announcement in the community that is ask me anything. Okay, you can ask me whatever question you want. So some people send me on WhatsApp, some people send me email, some people just posted their questions right below the announcement. So this is, I think, how many? 7 questions related to books. Okay, reading books. And so if you're in the habit of reading books, you might find this useful. The 7 questions predominantly are which is better, Kindle versus an actual physical book, speed reading versus reading slowly, which book to choose, how do you know which book is good for you, how many books to read, what target should you have, listening to a book review versus the full book review. You know, these apps like Blinkist and all that, you get a condensed version. Then number 6 is how do you know if a book is good or bad, and final recommendations that people have asked me. Okay, so these are the 7. I'll try to put the timestamps down below so you can choose which question actually suits you. Okay, so having said that, let's start up. The first one, this one is a screenshot. I'll show you. His name is Invisible Pepe. He says, hey Loy, been watching your videos for over 2 years now. Keep up the good work. Had a question. Do you recommend buying physical copies of a book or a Kindle? I read a lot and I'm confused whether I should invest in a Kindle or keep buying physical copies one after another. What would you have done if you're in my place? Okay, so that's the first question, Kindle versus book. Now, uh, whenever anyone tells me that they are planning to buy a Kindle, okay, the first question that I ask them is, um, if your Kindle were to get damaged or some malfunction or it breaks, can you easily buy another Kindle? Would it be okay for you? I broke my Kindle, no problem, I'll buy another one. So if it is not an issue for you to replace your Kindle, if it's not too expensive, then um, the first problem is sorted out. Because what happens is, if you have a Kindle and it is expensive, it's an expensive piece of machinery for you, then if it gets damaged or something happens or someone drops it or there's a crack or something, then that will mentally affect your reading ability. Okay, and then you'll have to wait until you can replace it. So that's the first thing. So uh, if that is like, no, it doesn't, it's not a problem, I can easily buy a Kindle, if that is your answer, then there are just these series of questions you need to ask yourself. Number one is, first one is, like in my case, the biggest drawback, first I'll tell you, is, the books that I have, it's I think around 10 or 12 shelves of books, double layers, and it has cost me a fortune. I'm telling you, it has cost me 3 times more than the actual price of the books just to transport them and take them from one place to another. So if you are going to have a library as big as mine, and you're going to move around, then it's going to be a massive expense. I'll tell you that much, at least expense. But if you're talking about leaving a legacy, or having YouTube videos, or where you can keep the books at the background, or you want to show to your friends or people when they come in, oh, this is my book collection. Some people love to show. Like, even I always had a dream that I would show my library. Many people say my dream is to have a library, so it looks nice visually, and you can choose whichever book you want. There's a difference between seeing a physical aspect of the books versus just checking your Kindle and choosing which book you want to read. And for me personally, I like the feel of the book. I love the feel. I love the pages. I love the fact that I can use pencil. I can use a highlighter physically. I know you can do all these things with the gadget, but me personally, I like physical books, even though it has been expensive. But and I'll tell you, I have 3 iPads. I have I have the tablet with the pencil and with a pen, and I've tried using the Galaxy one, which is a soft felt pen, and the Apple one, which feels like you're taking a plastic over plastic. I've tried both. I still don't get the feel like I would use a pencil and paper. Okay. So, and even though I've easily purchased, I think more than, I think what, 5 devices plus another four more which I purchased and never used, and I give it away. Um, I I don't feel like it. There are some people who love to take their Kindle and when they're lying down and they can read, and obviously there is lighting. It seems new features are there where you can expand the text and you can highlight and you can go back and forth. But I'm not very much into that technology. So if you are a type of person who takes his iPad or takes his phone everywhere, even when sleeping and you're looking, and you have a habit of using, let's say, Galaxy phone with your pen, then maybe the Kindle can be a good option. But for old timers like me, I prefer a physical book. For me, the problem with the Kindle is there are so many devices, and um, I just don't feel it. I'll tell you, when I take a book, it's a physical this thing. Yes, there are a lot of benefits of taking a Kindle. Like you can have 10 books you can choose from, or 20 books, and also they give you a lot of discount and it's very cheaper. Okay, so those are the amazing benefits, and plenty of people use Kindle. But for me, I like the physical book, and I think it finally comes down to a personal preference. So if you're asking my personal preference, I prefer physical copies of the books. But if you're a guy who's always on the go, you like to read multiple books, a little bit here, a little bit there, you're taking your book when you're reading, when you're sleeping, when you're going out, then, and yes, remember, the most important thing is if you can easily replace a Kindle if it gets damaged, then go for the Kindle. Okay, so that's question number one. Question number two is speed reading versus normal reading. See, this fad about speed reading and then this thigh Lopez, I read one book a day. This is all bullshit here. I mean, what are you doing? You're reading to show off? You're reading to impress people? What are you doing? Oh, I read 100 books in 100 days. So what? So what? You can read 10,000 books. But if you're earning the same, if your personality is the same, your life is the same, you can read 1 million books. Um, the reason why speed reading gained popularity, because they assumed that if you read a book faster, you can get more knowledge and you can read more books and you become more intelligent. That's not the case. In fact, reading more books and reading faster, it seems your concentration levels are very minute, and then you absolutely forget what you have read. So my point of view, what I've realized, I've tried speed reading, I've tried all these techniques. I feel you should read a book, you should digest it slowly, and you should choose which chapters you want. You need not read a book from beginning to the end. Choose. You want to read in between the chapter, you want to read the ending first, you want to read just half a chapter, whatever. But read it slow and read it with a purpose. And if you ask me what is the purpose of reading a book is, you should be able to apply into your current scenario, into your life, not somewhere in the future after 5 years, or you're reading. So, just for upgrading your information today, you can just type Chat GPT or Google or whatever. So, if you're reading a book, read it for a purpose. Be very clear what is your purpose. And the best purpose, I could say, is applying the knowledge that you read from the book immediately. Okay. And experimenting and seeing what works. I used to do that with bodybuilding, where I used to read, okay, 7 reps or 8 reps, I used to actually practice. Okay, then twist the dumbbell this way. So because I read, I applied, and I referred, and I kept going back and forth, it made me a better individual. But if you just read, let's say, cognitive science or Yuval Noah Harris, or you read a book on some advanced high tech and you're trying to brag and show off, you're just fooling yourself here. So speed reading is just a gimmick. It's no point, it's no use. I would say read slowly, read purposefully. Okay, that's question number two. Question number three is people ask me, Loy, which book do you think I should start with? I would say read a book that you would enjoy, that you would have fun, that would, it's something that you like. And if you're not sure what you like, experiment. Take best-selling books, because best-selling books is normally very popular. So maybe you can borrow a book, or if you can buy, you can buy. See a book, just buy a best-selling book. It can be like, for example, How to Win Friends and Influence People. These are classic bestseller. Or Think and Grow Rich. See if you like those kind of books. And if not, read even non-fiction. That is okay. Fiction. It's okay to read anything provided you enjoy the process. I always tell people, if you're just starting off, just read to develop the habit and to enjoy the process. Don't start reading, I want to improve, I want to be a genius like Elon Musk. No, all that forget. Just read to enjoy and to develop the habit. And which book, just say which book applies to your life. Let's say you are a bodybuilder, maybe you can read a book on bodybuilding. If you are someone who likes thought-provoking stories, maybe read a book that gives you short stories. Okay, if you are someone who likes deep into science and all that, read a book on psychology or whatever. So just find the best-selling books. And one important tip I'll give you: go to the bookshop if you can, sit down, take a book, and just open the book. The people who are selling the books are not going to say, don't read it. I doubt. You can sit and open the pages, check the chapter, look at the ending, look at the first part, see the summary, and see, does it intrigue you? I flip through pages and I check, is my interest still there? And that's how I choose a book. So it doesn't matter which book you read, provided you enjoy the process of reading. Okay, and believe it or not, the more you read, the better it is for you. Okay. Number 4 is how many. The fourth question: how many books to read? It doesn't matter if you read one book a month or one book in 3 months. It doesn't matter, because your requirement is different from mine. Don't compare, oh, he read 5 books, I will read 6 books, or I read one book this month, I'll read 2 books next month. No, it need not be a race. Read a book to enjoy, to experience it, and to apply to become a better individual. So read at your pace, something that is comfortable. That is what I would suggest in terms of reading books. Number 5 is, what do I think about book review versus reading a full book? Because nowadays, Blinkist, like software like Blinkist, summarizes the book of, let's say, 100 pages in 5 minutes or 3 minutes. And then there are book reviews online in YouTube, which I've also recommended. You can watch those videos. It summarizes the entire book into 1 minute or 5 minutes or whatever. Okay, versus reading a full book. See, the point of a book summary is to get the main points, the gist of the point. But reading a full book is an experience in itself. Okay, so what I would suggest is, before you get into reading a full book or investing your time, effort, energy, listen to the book summary, listen to multiple book summaries, and if there's a point that jumps out and says, okay, this is something which I need to research more on, then take that book and go to that particular chapter which really intrigues you, or you can read from beginning to the end. But if you listen to the book review and you realize, this is not something of my interest, then don't waste your time about it. But remember, there are plenty of YouTube channels that give you book summaries and book reviews, so it's very easy. Okay. So my recommendation is, first finish off with a book summary or book review, and then go to the actual book. Okay. Number 6, how do I know if a book is good or bad in terms of purchase? Is it worth buying? The best solution I found for this is, go to Amazon.com. In Amazon, type the name of the book. Obviously, most of the booksellers nowadays, almost all of them, they have marketing agencies and they have fake reviews and they have paid reviews to make sure it appears with the 5-star. I normally tend to ignore the 5 stars, okay? But I'll see the one that has the maximum number of likes for that 5-star review. And then I'll go to the 4-star, the highest number of reviews, highest number of likes for a 4-star, then 3-star, 2-star, 1-star. I go through all of them. And, somewhere I skip off the 5-star, I skip off the 1-star, and the in between, the 2, 3, and 4. That should give you more or less what is really truly important about the book and what makes it stand out. So I would say, ignore the 5 stars. Check the 2, 3, and 4. Just take 2, 3, and 4, and that would give you an idea. And remember, just because a book is a bestseller, or just because many people are buying a book, maybe it will not work with you. For me, some of the bestsellers is like The Secret, utter crap, utter shit. That book is garbage, The Secret. There are some books which are bestsellers where I just look, like The Power of Now. I'm like, what the hell is Eckhart Tolle? I just looked at a few pages, I threw it out. Yeah, it's so useless. This is me, okay? And there are pseudoscience bullshit books like Tapping and all that, and even NLP, which is pseudoscience. Those days, it was like a bestseller. Wow, you can change by changing your state. Then as you grow older, you realize this is just crap, you know. So check the Amazon review, check YouTube videos, and like I told you, with a star, you'll be able to know whether it's worth buying or not. And if you're not too sure, always ask people who, in your circle who read this book. And if nothing else, go to the book library, spend some time, read a few chapters. Okay. Last, if not the least, people ask me, okay, number 7 is, Loy, what books do you recommend? I have, because many people used to ask me, Loy, which is the best book, which is number 1 book, which is a top 10, top 100. I have written an article, Loy Machedo's uh, recommended book list or top 100 book list. And you can go through it and select which one you like. Those are my top 100. In fact, the book that really shocked me and completely blew my mind was not a non-fiction book, but a fiction book, A Private Dancer by Stephen Leather, I think. That really exposed me to the mind games of women, especially Thai women, because I was getting married to a Thai woman. So it really shocked me, that one, Private Dancer by Stephen Leather. And Sirkin Robinson's books I really liked. I felt they were actually speaking to me because he spoke on ADHD, child upbringing, the mind. In fact, his TED Talk, which was Do School Skill Creativity, that's one of my favorite TED Talks. Then obviously the other bestsellers, like the normal one, like Malcolm Gladwell, then all the bestsellers. I can't remember them now. You can check my list. I love Richard Dawkins. I love Christopher Hitchens. These are atheists and evolutionary. Richard Dawkins is a evolutionary biologist. Then obviously the classics like Think and Grow Rich, Tony Robbins' entire selection. Then even Chicken Soup for the Soul. Those stories were really very nice. I kind of liked it. So it all comes down to your preference. I even liked Jonna Lehrer. I can't get his name. Yeah, he got blacklisted for How the Mind Works. I think that is his book. He plagiarized some of the works, but still his books were pretty good. So you can just Google search Loy Machedo's 100 recommended book list. I think it's still there. Okay. So that's it. That would be my recommendation. But if you genuinely ask me, take a book that suits you, that you can apply the principles immediately. That would really help. So these are the 7 questions in terms of reading books. I hope it added some value. Put down your questions if there are questions I have not answered, and I would love to respond. And yeah, as a closing thought, I would just like to say is, there were books which I used to love when I was young, but as I grew older, I kind of like, this is crap and this is garbage. That also may happen to you. So go with the flow, go with the times, and eventually you'll find out what floats your boat, like they say. Anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you. Good, bad, ugly. Feel free to comment down below. Let me know what are your favorite recommended top 5 books. Maybe I'll look into them, and who knows, maybe I'd end up purchasing what you recommend. Okay. All right. You guys take care. And this is me signing off. Ciao.